In 2024, Macayla made about $40,000 shooting anything and anyone who would hire her. Couples, families, weddings, whatever paid the bills. Fast forward to 2025, and after joining the Elopement Photographer Mastermind, Macayla hit $104,000 photographing elopements in the Pacific Northwest with couples that feel like friends. She more than doubled her income doing exactly what she's always wanted to do, but the real shift goes deeper than money. She's more confident, has more freedom, trusts herself and her pricing, and finally feels like she gets to be herself in her business. If you want proof that this work changes your life, not just your numbers, you're going to want to hear her story. Welcome to Stoked, the podcast that helps adventure elopement photographers hit six figures and beyond in their businesses without hustling on social media. I'm your host, Megan McPhail, a former burnt-out emergency veterinarian that quit my hard-earned career to become an elopement photographer. Now I'm living a life I absolutely love, full of travel, adventure, and financial abundance, and I am hell-bent on helping you do the same. Are you ready to start booking out your calendar with dream couples in breathtaking locations and feeling genuinely stoked about your elopement photography business, life, and bank account? Then let's dive into this week's episode. Hey, it's your host, Megan McPhail, and today I have a very special guest. She's one of my Elopement Photographer Mastermind members. She's a destination elopement photographer based in Utah, but serving Oregon, Washington, and the Tetons. Her name is Macayla Lott. Welcome to the podcast, Macayla.
Hi, I'm so excited and grateful to be here.
Yeah, I'm so happy that you're here. Why don't we start with kind of like your backstory? How did you get started into photography and elopement specifically?
Okay, yes. So, throwback, to middle school, I was given this cute little point and shoot camera. I was
Hmm.
super curious about it. I've done all the artistic things in high school, just drawing, photography, art. And then my senior year of high school, did a little bit of photos for fun, but then I stopped touching my camera for probably 7 years. Went to college, just kind of forgot about it. And then in 2021, I was going through a bunch of old stuff, found my old camera, and I was thinking about selling it. And my husband was like, "Wait, you love photography, right? Like, why don't we try to pursue this as like a career if you really want to?" And I was like, "Okay, I haven't really given it much thought." So then thrifted a camera off of Facebook Marketplace for like $600.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it was actually a great deal. And then started my business in 2022. So yeah, and since then I've just been kind of trying to refine my business and figure out what I really want to do, what's really speaking to me. And so yeah, it's kind of where it started a little bit.
Nice. So you started in 2022. Did you start with weddings or did you start with elopements?
I started with weddings and I mostly just started with whatever I could get. So in Utah, it was pretty much just smaller weddings.
Yeah. And then, so you shifted into elopements, as a lot of people do. When was that?
Oh, that was, I would probably say, I mean, I think I've always wanted to go into elopements. I just
Yeah.
didn't know how it could work. I literally did not know how to even market myself in that direction or anything, which we'll get into with the mastermind and how that changed my outlook a lot. But I would say it probably was like the end of 2024, beginning of 2025. So just about a year ago, that really shifted for me.
Oh, wow. So recently. I don't think I even
Yeah.
knew that.
Yeah. 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 In fact, my brother actually he had his elopement in Arches National Park in March, and that just confirmed it for me. That was really special.
That's awesome. So you live in Utah, but you primarily photograph in the Pacific Northwest. Why is that?
Oh man, I'll try to be brief with this, but I remember seeing a photo in Oregon in like 2021 and just thinking, I'm going to go there someday. And I've always just had this really strong pull and urge to visit the Pacific Northwest. And so we can get more into hosting content days, but I hosted a content day there in 2023. And after that, I was just obsessed. And I was like, I need to come back here. Like the people, the place, the vibes, just everything is just so me. And so I've just tried to really market towards the Pacific Northwest. So every
Yeah.
time I can go out there, it's so special and it feels like my second home.
Yeah. Oh, I love that for you. And you guys can't see her, but she's wearing a Pacific Northwest sweatshirt right now.
It's like my favorite one. It's from a
Yeah.
content retreat this last year,
Oh,
and I wear it all the time.
I love that. So tell me, how was business for you before you joined the Elopement Photographer Mastermind?
Okay, so I wrote down some numbers because I really wanted to see the difference of
Yeah.
what it looked like in 2024 and previously. So I guess I'll give a little bit of backstory. I actually had a part-time job in 2024 because I just was not making enough and I felt like I wanted to save more. And so at the end of that part-time job, I had it for about 6 months. I quit that job at the end of 2024 and I said, okay, I'm going to go back to school and start my master's degree to become a therapist. So I actually did apply to some grad programs and worked with some schools. And then I saw Megan's ad actually for the mastermind. And at that time, I was still struggling in my business. I mean, I had booked 3 elopements and weddings in 2024, and I got about 15 inquiries throughout all of 2024 for weddings and elopements. And so I was kind of at, I don't want to say my last straw, but I was either going the direction of becoming a therapist and this is going to be the end of my photography days, or I was actually going to give it a chance. So that's kind of where I was at. And as far as even money goes, like in 2024 overall, in 2023 I had booked about like 30,000 for the whole year. And then in 2024 I had booked about 40,000, and that also includes like sessions, in
Yeah.
Utah and random family sessions that I would just take on just so I could profit a little bit more. It's kind of what that looked like.
Yeah. And so where were you getting inquiries and stuff?
Honestly, mostly through Instagram, which that is something I'm kind of passionate about now and trying to help people understand that Instagram is not reliable.
No.
No. And every time I read your post about you can't just hope that people will find you through Instagram and book you and stuff, that was me. Felt so called out.
Mhm. Yeah. You,
Respectfully though.
Macayla, cannot hope for bookings from Instagram.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, this checks out. This actually makes so much sense because this was my business. It was just hanging on by a thread through Instagram.
Yeah. And so did you have to spend a lot of time posting and stuff to get those 15 inquiries and 3 bookings?
Yes, and it was exhausting. And honestly, social media is not my thing. I don't even have a personal social media. I only created Instagram for my business in 2022. So it was exhausting and I was constantly comparing myself to people on Instagram. I was so invested by numbers and I thought that that's what made profitability and success, and I didn't realize like your follower count has nothing to do with your success.
Mhm. Yeah, I've been preaching that a lot lately because
Yes.
so many people hit 6 figures and they have 300 Instagram followers, 500,
Yes.
1,000, and so many people are fixated on how many follower counts they have. They even use that as, like, the metric to whether or not they can raise their prices and stuff, and it just doesn't matter. Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. So you end up deciding not to join a master's program and to join the Elopement Photographer Mastermind as like your kind of last ditch effort to get your business going where you wanted it to go. So when did you join the mastermind? Let's tell the folks.
Yes. So I think I joined the mastermind in January. Before I joined the mastermind, I actually bought Adventures in Google Ad
Oh yeah.
December of
Mhm.
2024. And I did that in November. I think I bought it, worked on that for 3 weeks, launched my first Google ad. In December, I had, I think, 8 inquiries or something, and I booked like half of them. And I
Wow.
was like, what is this witchcraft? Like, this is insane.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, well, obviously, if this is working, then I have to join the mastermind because I can improve my website. I can actually know what I'm doing with these clients and improve overall client experience. And so that's when I decided to join in January. So I guess it's been a year and it's been life changing, actually.
That makes me so
Truly.
happy to hear.
Yeah, yeah, it's amazing. I want to tell everybody about it, and I do, but
Yeah.
seriously.
So 2024, you had 3 bookings, 15 inquiries, made $40,000. And then in 2025, what were those numbers? Bookings, inquiries, and money.
2025. I had 16 elopements and weddings in 2025, which brought me to full time, which means I didn't have to have a part-time job. Amazing. And then overall in 2025, my gross booked amount was 104,221. So 69 files booked. I mean, I'm like, that's huge. That's a huge difference from 2024.
Yeah, that's more than double. And then you
Yeah.
also
Yes.
you're also booking out 2026 and 2027.
Yeah, which is so
Crazy.
crazy. I'm like, what is going on? Let's see, for 2026, I have 9 so far and 5 for 2027. And almost all of them, except maybe 2, are elopements. The other 2 are like intimate weddings, and they're
Yeah.
just my people. Every time I hop on phone calls, I'm like, this is the dream. This is what it's
Yeah.
supposed to be like.
Oh, I love that. So yeah, let's talk about okay, we're talking about numbers. Your numbers are very impressive. You more than doubled your income. You're almost booked out for 2026. You're already booking out 2027. You probably are going to need to raise your prices again if that's the
Yeah,
case.
probably.
Uh, but like, what is life like 2024 compared to 2025? Like, how has your life changed? You said the mastermind was life changing. So, like, what has actually changed?
I mean, overall, I first want to say that I'm not saying that number equals materialism, right? But
Hmm.
I'm not the kind of person that's like, oh my gosh, I was able to buy this and I was able to buy that. But with that comes the relief that you can follow your passions and actually make a full time income with it. And not only a full time income, but a full time income that you're really proud of. And so I feel like it's definitely boosted my self-esteem. It's boosted my confidence as like a business owner and a photographer who's guiding people through national parks, who's showing people that they can have an elopement and dream wedding that they want. And it's brought a lot of peace and relief in my life. And I guess a big thing too is just freedom and curiosity is something I've thought a lot about over the last year because there's so many ways to fulfill your passions, and this is something that I'm just so grateful that I was able to actually, like, understand.
Yeah. That's awesome. What do
Yeah.
you think were, like, the biggest things that you learned that contributed to you being able to have this business that you kind of dreamed of but didn't know how to create on your own?
Honestly, a big thing for me that I was pretty hesitant about before, if I'm being honest, was actually trusting other people to I don't wanna say do the work for you, but putting your trust and faith into people's experience. It's funny, Megan, I actually looked at our DMs and I had reached out to you in 2022 because I was intrigued about the program,
Mhm.
but I was just holding on to any money that I had because I was in such a scarcity mindset. And I feel like being able to fully trust and say, okay, yes, I've hired Megan as my coach and I'm learning from her experience has been huge. And I wish I actually did that in 2022.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such a common thing, right? I think people have been burned by education in the past or had trouble implementing things on their own and they've invested things. And yeah, when you are a struggling business owner, the craziest idea would be to spend a lot of money when you're not even making that much money, right? So it's totally normal to be in that scarcity mindset and then also kind of lacking trust because you've struggled before with education or you've heard horror stories from other people, or Facebook groups are trying to convince you that it's another slow year and the market's saturated and the economy sucks and all that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think that you being able to put your trust in me, I mean, I don't take that lightly. And like, I'm very proud that you were able to take everything that we gave you and ran with it. And I mean, you did the hard work. And now you're over here booking what, like $8,000 elopements?
Yeah. Yeah, which is so insane to me that that's just a reality now. Another thing too I want to add to answer your question is a big thing that I've been thinking about this last year is curiosity. I
Mm,
think I thought that running your business had to look a certain way. And I think I was putting myself in a box and saying, this is what successful elopement or wedding photographers do in Utah. This is the structure, this is the outline and I've tried to take a more curious approach and say, okay, let's test something like Google Ads, right? Like you try something. If it doesn't work, you try to fix it again. And you come from a different approach and a different angle. And that innovation with the confidence that you can't fail if you're trying
Yeah.
has been game changer.
Yeah. Ooh, that is such a good quote. You can't fail if you're trying. Yeah, because you like, that's kind of what we teach you guys, right? Is like troubleshooting and figuring things out, and your success is inevitable. And if it doesn't work right this second, it will in the future if we just keep fixing things and stuff like that. And so that
Yeah.
is one of the cool things that I love about a lot of you guys in the Elopement Photographer Mastermind is that you do develop this confidence, and then you start kind of playing around with stuff, and you're not worried about failing anymore because you know how to be successful. So now it's like, ooh, maybe I'm going to start booking elopements in the Tetons, and like, obviously you live in Utah, but almost all of your bookings are in the Pacific Northwest. You also have one in Glacier, right? Like, so you
Yes.
are
Yeah.
traveling all over
Yeah.
to the coolest places. And yeah, you now have the confidence to do all that. And the other cool thing that you mentioned is that you're booking your people. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, absolutely. It's interesting looking back at where my business was in 2022 because I'm a totally different person as well. And I think the shifts that I've made personally in my life have really reflected to the kind of shifts that I'm trying to make in my business.
Mhm.
And so attracting the kind of people who are passionate about the outdoors, respecting national parks, leaving no trace principles, but also people who are just grounded and real and want to do things their way unapologetically are people that I've been able to find that are just quirky. They're just themselves. They're content in who they are. And there's just been so much peace that has come with that. Like, every time I get off of a phone call, I don't have the anxiety of, "Okay, I don't know if they're gonna book me. I don't know if they're looking at someone else." I literally walk away from my phone calls and I'm like, "I love them. They're so cool. I can't wait to work with them." Because at the end of the call, they're like, "Great. We already knew we wanted you. This is awesome. Like, let's keep planning." And so there's just so much security that comes with that, which is like a huge value of mine. But my
Mhm.
top value is authenticity. And I'm finding those couples who want that. And that's so important to them.
I love that. Oh, that makes me so happy because, like, in the past, you were probably nervous about every potential booking or inquiry that came in, and now you get to kind of be relaxed and joyful about it.
Yeah, I had so much anxiety on client calls. I just so much anxiety. I think shifting everything from the confidence and the outline that I have on my website to then leading them through this experience and letting them know beforehand what they're signing up for. And then this is so small, but something that I added on my contact form for like peace of mind at the bottom, I just asked, have you reviewed my pricing? And if people say yes, then I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I know that they want me. I don't
Yeah.
have to ask. I don't have to have the question, are you price shopping? Are you budget shopping? Are you
Yeah.
just looking around? I'm like, no, I don't need that because they're
You
just
know they're
asking.
reaching out to you, understanding what your pricing is, so you don't have to be afraid on a sales call to be like, "Okay, well, that's gonna be this much," like, and be
Exactly.
terrified
Yeah.
to tell them.
Yeah. Yes. And your sales script as well. I mean, and I only want to say script because it doesn't even feel like a script. It's more like a guide on how to like navigate a conversation naturally was game changer for me because I had bought programs before that was like, here's how you upsell people on calls. Here's how you make them commit to you before the end of the call. And I just felt so icky. But then
Mhm.
after actually implementing what was in the mastermind and how calls went, I saw a huge shift. I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually listen without an agenda. I can actually care and see where their needs are and see how I can help them.
Yeah, totally, and yeah, you're upselling, quote, unquote, in a way that well, you're not even upselling because you're just giving them the options and they're choosing and they're deciding what's best for them. And it always ends up being something bigger and grander than they originally imagined. And one of the things I always preach to everybody is that, I don't feel like selling an all-day elopement is upselling because I know it's what's best for them, and it's what's best for everybody involved. Because every time I end a 8-hour elopement or longer, they wish it was longer, And
Yeah.
so I'm not going to be afraid to recommend something like that because I know they're going to love it. So how is that upselling, you know? But yeah, there's a lot of icky sales tactics out there for sure.
There are, and I thought that that was the way to do it, and I was like, "This just doesn't feel right. This
Yeah.
just doesn't feel right."
Yeah, and you want your business to feel good and you want it to align with your values and you want to work with people who trust you and are excited to work with you and like don't bat an eye at your prices. And yeah, I mean, that's really what makes a successful business. And like what you were saying before, I think a lot of people try to emulate other people's businesses that are successful. I know I tried to do that back in the day because I didn't have a roadmap. And then realizing that it's so much more about what I love and what I want and what I'm good at, you know? And if that ends up being different than how somebody else is running their business, that's totally okay because I need to run it my way. Like, that's really empowering.
Yes, what you just said is exactly what I tried to do for my first 2 or 3 years. I would look at big photographers and I'm like, "I need to know everything about how they got from where they were to how they are now." I would literally go through their old posts and just see what did they change about their
Yeah.
work. Like, so bad. I'm like, "That didn't get me anywhere at all."
Right.
Yeah. But going like what you're saying, going back to what you loved as a kid, what things you're passionate about now, and just incorporating that into who you are in your business, game changer.
Yeah. You know, you're saying your clients, they're quirky, they're authentic, and that's, you know, you're quirky and authentic. That's a match made in heaven. And you need to be able to share that with the world and not be worried that like you're doing things in the wrong way because so and so did it differently or something. So yeah, that's awesome. So how do you show up on social media now? Because you used to get all of your bookings from Instagram. Now it's more from Google Ads and stuff like that. So like how is social media for you now that things have changed?
It's funny that you say that because I actually am at a point now in my business where I'm outsourcing my social media. And
Ooh.
so that's been so nice. And in 2025, when I was in the middle of like booking full time and trying to see if I wanted to fully still take on Instagram, I felt a lot more relief. I didn't feel the pressure to having to post constantly, to having to try to go viral, you know?
Mhm.
Like there's just so much pressure that comes with that. And it was hard for me. I just felt like it was very time consuming. I didn't wanna be on my screen and my phone all day trying to create a reel, and so that's kinda where I was at, and now I'm at a point where if I want to create a carousel that's educating my clients on what an elopement with me looks like or answering a certain question, it feels more like it comes from my heart because I have so much more to give because I'm not burning myself out.
Mhm. Oh, that's such a good way to put it. Because I think so many people just throw things out there and it's with the pressure of like, this has to be successful. And now you are successful. So if you are putting something out there, it's because you have something important to say.
Yeah. Yeah, and another thing too is I think there was a message or something you had shared in the mastermind that was like your Instagram could just be your portfolio or it could be a way that people actually get to like, know, and trust you and build that. And so that's something that I'm slowly working on and is something that I want to work on this next year is because when people find me on my website first through Google, if they come to my Instagram, I want them to feel like, oh, there's still that same level of confidence and education that I can gain from following her.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And notice everyone listening that she's already booking things, right? Michaela, you're booking things, you're doing well, you've raised your prices, and now you're like, well, I have this extra time and energy. Maybe I'll like improve my social media presence a little bit, but that's not your first priority, which is cool.
Yes, and it's great. I'm grateful to be in that position
Yeah,
because I thought it was the other way around for a long time.
totally. Cool. So if you were to give some advice to, you know, the elopement photographers out there, whether they are established or they want to transition from weddings to elopements, like kind of like you did, what advice would you give them?
That's hard because I feel like there's so many thoughts I could share.
I know.
I guess one quote that comes to my mind before I started the mastermind program, I had followed Nathan Chansky. He's another like educational photographer.
Yeah.
Something that he posted, he had something along the lines of, "Are you only booking the things that you want because they look successful to you, or that they feel successful to you?"
Mm.
And so I think going deeper and asking yourself these questions of, is this how I want to feel in my business? Is this how I really want to feel in my life? And doing the hard work to align the two and figure out what you actually want is so worthwhile. Even if you do have to get real with yourself, that's where the magic happens. You need to be real with yourself.
Yeah, that's so true too.
Yeah. I'd say that's one thing. Another thing is, if you feel like you're at a point where you're just stuck, take the chance and actually trust someone else. Do your research, of course. Don't just buy any course that you find, but take the chance to trust someone else, to trust yourself, give yourself the breathing room to try new things, to break expectations or molds that you've placed on yourself.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I haven't said this in a while, but it's so true that like building a business and especially an elopement photography business is a journey of self-discovery. And like you do have to realize some things about yourself and work on some things about yourself and celebrate your strengths and identify your weaknesses and improve upon things. And that can be really challenging and uncomfortable. So making sure that you feel like you can find somebody that can help you through that. I think that's important.
I love that. That is so true. That's exactly how I would say has been like the last few years. Like, not only have I changed and grown and evolved a lot as a person and made a lot of different life choices, but that's reflected a lot in my business because I'm becoming more me, you know? I'm searching the people who also want that.
Yeah, I love that. And when we were talking before, you mentioned that you feel like you have a lot of freedom now. Can you expand on that?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of freedom in how I feel, like, psychologically, in the sense of that I'm not burdened by the fact that I feel like I have to perform a certain way. I don't have to meet a certain expectation or standard that maybe the wedding industry might have for artists. I feel like there's so much freedom financially, for one thing, but just the peace of mind that comes with knowing I'm on a good path and this has worked before and it will continue to work and I can trust myself.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Macayla, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks.
And you just continue to do great stuff and you're so positive. I mean, it's just always great when we get to chat and I'm so glad that you were able to come on the podcast. And yeah, where can people find you on social media and what's your website?
Social media is Macayla Lott Photo. I really only have an Instagram. I tried TikTok for a hot minute and haven't touched that for a while. So just
Yeah.
Instagram for now.
Mhm.
And then website is just macaylalottphoto.com.
Cool. And that's
Yep.
MacaylaLott.com. Because you never know how people spell Macayla.
Oh my gosh. The amount of times I know. I'm like, it's tricky. I know,
I'm
but
always double checking myself if I ever write your name out and I'm like, how do I spell this? Because it's
no,
always
that's so
different.
real.
But
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for being on the podcast. And I hope
Thank
you guys
you.
enjoyed Macayla's story. And we will see you next week. Bye. Thanks so much for joining us on this week's episode of Stoked. If you enjoyed the show and you'd like to help support the podcast, please subscribe, leave a review, and tell a friend. If you're looking for more inspiring elopement photography content, check us out on Instagram at Megan McPhail. And if you'd like to hear more about my business coaching and how I can personally help you hit six figures as an elopement photographer, then check out my website at www.meganmcphail.com.